What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome to top 10 Premier League overpowered players in FIFA 19. Of course, in my opinion, now there are going to be some players here that you expect to see and some that you don't. But what I've done is I've not gone for necessarily cheap overpowered players and I've not gone for high rated expensive players because they're not really overpowered. They're just good because they're good. So I've hit a limit of a maximum of 84 rated to try and find 10 overpowered players. Some of these guys you will obviously see, you guys will be like, well, duh, he's clearly going to be overpowered. And I think some of these guys you'll be like, oh, didn't really realise he was a good viable option. So if you enjoyed this sort of video and you want to see more for the other major leagues, drop a thumbs up on the video. It would be very much appreciated. We are days away from the early access of FIFA 19 on Xbox and Xbox 360, and I'm going to be bringing you guys a whole bunch of content. I'm very excited, I cannot wait. And so here we go guys with my top 10. In at number 1, or well, like the first card, they're in no particular order, and that is the goalkeeper Kepa, the new Chelsea signing. Massive fee paid for him. Obviously, he has the benefit of having a 4-star weak foot, which doesn't necessarily make too much of a difference. But as an 83 rated keeper, he's not going to be like super expensive. He won't be cheap, but he's not going to be super expensive like the 85s, 86s, 87s, etc. are. But because of how powerful chemistry styles are on goalkeepers, we never knew what they did before, and now we kind of do. When you put even a goalkeeper basic on him, he gains 10 in every area and 5 in speed, or 5 in acceleration. So he's a little on the slow side, but he comes away with 94 diving, 94 handling, reflexes, 90 handling, 90 positioning. And then kicking and speed, kicking and speed are relative, like they're just the two useless stats, or the most useless stats, in my personal opinion. Now, a lot of people will say, like, what we don't know about goalkeepers is, was this the boost that goalkeepers got last year? Was it less? Was it more? Is it true? Like, you get some goalkeepers that you put a chem style on, or even don't put a chem style on in the aid of having them basic, and you think they never play like they've got mid 90s or low 90s for stats. And you can put the chem styles on here, and it gives a plus 15, so you can actually get Kepa to 99 diving, 95 positioning, and 95 handling. That is an amazing looking card. As I said, I don't necessarily know what kind of price he's going to be settling at. I'd say off the bat, probably around like the 10 to 15,000 coin mark, because he's Chelsea, he's got good links, he's a good low-end goalkeeper. So I think he's going to be like relatively high priced, but as time goes on, he's going to become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. He'll be one of those guys that you might pack a fair bit, and he's just going to be one of the most overpowered and probably most seen goalkeepers. And I understand, although I don't have clarification on this, I saw some people talking about it over Reddit and forums and Twitter and whatnot. This guy has saves with feet trait. That just makes him next level good. Next level good. Next up, guys, we have got Karl Walker. So you're probably looking at Karl Walker thinking, well, duh, he's obviously going to be one of the most overpowered players. And yes, he is, yet again. For about the 6th year running, Karl Walker is going to be a go-to right back that is going to be so overpowered that it wouldn't surprise me if you still saw Karl Walker in people's teams in 1 month, 3 months, potentially even 6 months or 9 months, because he just has everything necessary for a fullback. And as we learned today from EA letting us know that stamina is going to be important again this year, or they've given us a little more detail as to what stamina does, having 89 stamina on Karl Walker is massive. Having high work rates is very good. 6 foot tall, which is great. His only downside is he's 2-star. But you could apply something to boost his pace. An anchor chemistry style would be probably very, very, very good for Karl Walker. It boosts him up to 91 acceleration and 98 sprint speed. It gives him 93 slide, 94 stand, good marking, heading and interceptions, and then really strong physicals. 93 jumping, 88 aggression and 80 strength. He's got good reactions as well. This card is with an anchor is great. I personally wouldn't put a shadow on him because the defensive boosts aren't good enough. You might consider using a sentinel. A sentinel would be massive for him again, like a big 10 boost on strength and aggression, a big 10 on jumping, 15 on slide and stand, and then 10 on marking and heading. This becomes a really, really strong card again, and EA have got him down as an 87 right back with sentinel and an 87 right back with Anchor as well. So sorry, an 88 right back. I was looking right back. An 88 right back with Sentinel, and an 87 right back with Anchor. So a really strong card. I mean, this will be an expensive card early on. That's why he's going to be overpowered. He's going to be expensive. I would honestly expect him to be somewhere in the region of 30 to 50,000 coins early days. He's not going to be cheap at all. He's going to be a player that you're going to have to grind hard for to try and get hold of. But he will be absolutely worth it because you will 100% make your coins worth with Karl Walker. Next up, guys, we've got Sanchez, the new Eric Bailly. This card is just beautiful for many, many reasons. Medium high work rate is perfect. 6'2", fantastic. He's got good stats. He's got decent reactions as well at 80. Not world-class reactions, but decent. And then with an Anchor Chem style, he just becomes a beast, man. 88 strength, 97 aggression, good jumping. Absolutely fantastic marking, stand, and slide tackle. His interception's a little low. Sprint speed really nice. You could place a shadow on him to get that massive pace boost. 87 acceleration, 89 sprint speed. And then again, really well-rounded defending. Perfect slide tackle, great stand tackle and marking. Good interceptions, much better interceptions and much better pace with the shadow. But of course you lose that strength and aggression boost that you get from the Anchor. So it kind of depends what you want. But I think whether you use him with a shadow, which puts him at an 88 rated centre-back, or an Anchor, which puts him at a 90 rated centre-back, Sanchez is going to be a beast this year. And again, I think he's going to come in at around the 30 to 50,000 coin mark early days. And I don't think he'll get super cheap super quick. If we go and take a look actually at Eric Bailly, well, this year, obviously Bailly was one of the go-to guys early days this year. If we look at his price range, yeah, I mean, he started off in the early days at like 40, 50, peaked at around 60, and then slowly came down, and it wasn't until Christmas that he came down to like 20k. So I think Sanchez is going to be very much the same in the sense that he'll be around that 30, 40, 50, maybe even up towards 60k mark, and then slowly trend down. But what a card that looks to be. And next up, guys, we have got Eric Bailly. Now, a lot of people wrote Eric Bailly off this time around, and as an 82 rated card, he might be far more affordable this year. He might be one of those guys that's 10 to 20,000 coins instead of sort of 40 to 60,000 coins. But what I love about this card is it's still great, and I don't know why people are overlooking it now. Medium high work rate, perfect. 6'2", fantastic. Not the greatest reactions, but he has got the perfect balance of acceleration and sprint speed and already high physicals to the point where an Anchor is good because, I mean, those physicals, those defending stats, and those pace stats become very good. But with a shadow, he becomes very, very good. Insane pace, quite like Sanchez. Already good physicals, you know, good jumping, good strength, good aggression, and then really well-rounded defending. I would argue that potentially for Eric Bailly, an Anchor is probably better. A shadow takes him to an 87, an Anchor up to an 89. Now, when you're using Bailly and Sanchez together, and then Karl Walker at right back, Kepa in goal, I mean, these are going to be some absolutely monstrous players that can be in your team for a long, long time. And as I say, the fact that Eric Bailly is only 82 rated, he will be more commonly packed. I'm not going to say he's going to be super common, he's not going to be super cheap, but I would say probably in the region of 10 to 30,000 coins early days, and then he'll, you know, the price will kind of change from there. Lots of defenders for this, and we've got another right back, and that's Hector Bellerin. So 3-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. The great thing about Hector Bellerin is he already has blistering pace. His defending stats and physicals are a little bit to be desired. You could place an Anchor Chem star on him and just boost his pace up nicely, his defending up nicely, and his physical up a little bit. I don't necessarily recommend that. I think a Sentinel Chem star for Hector Bellerin would be amazing. Really good pace, obviously. Really, really good stand and slide tackle in that instance then as well, and not the worst reactions and ball control. In terms of being overpowered, his sheer pace that he has is just going to make him a beast in many people's teams. And once again, his price won't be unreal. And the reason for that is because A, he's 80 rated, which will mean he's packed far more commonly than normal. In fact, if we look at Bellerin's card from last year, or this year, or however you want to say it, he was a 79 rated, was he? Hector Bellerin. He was an 81 rated, so it's actually been downgraded. And he started at around 20,000 coins, but very quickly came under 10,000 coins. Like, we're talking about in October he was under 10,000 coins. And it will probably be even cheaper this year because Karl Walker and Aurier and Valencia are alternatives. Because Bellerin is so low rated, he'll be commonly packed, and I think he'll be a nice, cheap, overpowered right back that you could have in your team until you can afford Karl Walker, perhaps. The next player that we've got, guys, is NepentheZ. Now, I don't think a lot of people are going to consider this guy, but this guy has got some phenomenal stats in terms of being an overpowered player. Medium-high work rates, fantastic. 6 foot tall, fantastic. 4-star weak foot, fantastic. And then if you look at his physicals, great stamina, great jumping, good aggression. He's already got good speed and good defending. You could apply an anchor chem style to NepentheZ and he becomes an 83 rated CDM or an 88 rated centre back. So, you know, using game plans now, starting NepentheZ in midfield, maybe you score a goal or two, you switch with your game plan to a 5 at the back, you can pop him in at centre back and he's actually going to be amazing. Alternatively, with how you set your team up, you might just want to play him at centre back and bring one of your centre backs into midfield, like Azpilicueta or something like that, or just change your team around. So he's going to fit in well there. But even as a CDM at 83 rated is amazing, and then as a shadow stays as an 83 rated CDM, but gets a massive, massive boost here. Now, his passing isn't great, his vision isn't great, but as a guy that's just going to break up the midfield and kind of like steal the ball a lot, this guy has got immaculate stats, good pace, great defending, great physicals. I think this guy will be cheap, not super cheap. Again, I don't think he's going to be necessarily under 10,000 coins early days. He will very quickly become less than 10,000 coins, but he'll be cheap, he'll be overpowered, and he'll be one of those guys that you can have in your team for a fair while whilst you address the rest of your team and build up the rest of your team. Next up, guys, we've got Felipe Anderson. The reason why I've got him is because of the 4-star, the great pace and great dribbling. And then in terms of shooting, he's actually got really good shooting stats, even though he's only got 75 shooting. His shot power and long shots are so nice. You're not really going to be in the box with Felipe Anderson as a winger, you know? So he's got good dribbling, he's got good passing. The downside to Felipe Anderson is he has terrible physicals. That is the only downside. And because of that, he'll probably be relatively cheap. People will probably turn away from him and opt for an Anthony Martial or something like that. But Felipe Anderson, I don't necessarily think he's going to be like super expensive. And because of how EA have kind of readdressed chem styles and such, there is so much you can do with him. You can boost all sorts of stats with him. If you give him an engine chem style, you can boost really nicely pace and acceleration, really nicely in passing, really nicely in dribbling. And this is actually a really, really well-rounded card with that engine chem style. It takes him to an 87 left wing and an 87 right wing, which is fantastic. You can give him a sniper, which I don't necessarily recommend because you don't want to boost his finishing. Deadeye does boost finishing as well. Marksman boost finishing. Hawk boost finishing. Artist, however, great vision, great crossing, great long pass, great ball control and dribbling, great agility and balance, and phenomenal acceleration and sprint speed. This takes him up to an 88 left wing and right wing, and it is probably the chem style that I would recommend for him. And it makes him an absolute monster for somebody who's going to be relatively cheap and just really, really fun to use. You could also use an architect, although physical's not really interested. Maestro could be quite an interesting one as well. Nice boost to passing and dribbling. Also a nice boost to the shooting. Again, takes him up to the 87s on the left wing and right wing. But I definitely think as an artist here, you just get the best out of him. Massive, massive boost in all the right areas. You know, he's got good composure as well. I just think that this is early days. I think this is going to be one of those cards that we see a lot in FUT Rivals and FUT Champs that you're just sick of. That you're like, oh my god, him again. 4-star weak foot, 4-star skill with blistering pace, great agility and balance, and then low stamina. So, you know, late on in games, he's not necessarily going to do great things for you. But first half, first 60 minutes, he's going to be amazing. And that moves us on to the next player, who is a, of course, kind of guy. Now, the downside to Martial, of course, is the fact that he only has a 3-star weak foot now instead of a 4-star, and he only has medium work rates. High medium, obviously, far better suited to a left wing, especially when a lot of people will be moving him into the striker role. But on that note, by way of moving him into the striker role, putting a Hawk on Anthony Martial and moving him into a striker just ticks a lot of boxes, man. Good strength, good jumping, great pace, great shooting and finishing. Now, you could put a Hunter on him, but they have massively nerfed Hunter to the point where it boosts his penalties and volleys a lot and not the important stats. Shot power a lot, but not finishing or positioning. And so for that, something like a sniper would be far, far better. really great boost in dribbling, composure included, really great boost in finishing, good boost in positioning, good boost in dribbling all round, and even something like potentially an engine would be good for Martial. A nice big pace boost again. He's got great dribbling stats with that engine chem style, and although it does boost passing, it's less about the passing, it's more about getting pace and dribbling, but you do want shooting as well. So I don't necessarily know what anyone would personally go with on this. I think I would go with a sniper for Anthony Martial and just boost those shooting and dribbling stats up heavily. Only takes him to an 87 striker, an 87 left wing, right forward, sorry, an 86 striker, 87 centre forward, 87 left wing, left forward, right wing, right forward. So you can play him in a multitude of different areas, but this guy getting a first in form is going to be big to see. But I think if he does have the traits that he had last year, you know, like the speed dribbler or the what were the other traits that he had? Hold on, sorry, Martial here coming in with where is he? There we go. So coming in with the finesse shot trait, the speed dribbler trait, and the technical dribbler trait. If he has those traits again, he's just going to be a beast again, because they're some of the most overpowered traits in the game. So he is another one on the list that is going to be overpowered. How expensive is he going to be? I don't necessarily know, because the 3-star weak foot and because of the medium work rates, he might be a bit cheaper than normal, or than what he was last year. And if we go back to what he was last year, he was up at like 80,000 coins in October, and then he slowly came down. Is he going to be 80,000 coins again? Possibly, maybe even 100,000 coins early days. You know, this might be one of the most expensive overpowered players that we've looked at today. Then we move on to the next one, and that is Humanson. And for me, this is the player that I'm most looking forward to using at the start in the game for a long time. Humanson over the last couple of years has had amazing informs and amazing special cards, player of the month cards, team of the season cards, etc. But his base starting card has never really been all that in people's eyes. You know, like last year, obviously he had the 82 rated base starting card, and that was came at a price of about 30,000, 25-30,000 early days. But by October, it was already 10,000 coins, right? So in October, this Humanson was already down to 10k. This time, this is going to be well in excess of 100,000 coins, in my opinion. Probably somewhere around the 120 to 150,000 coin mark. But this will be a card that will be so overpowered that I think people should gear towards as soon as possible. 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot, 6 foot tall, perfect, absolutely fantastic. Great stamina at 85 in spite of the general low physicals, and then just really well-rounded stats. Now, I personally will be using Humanson as a striker, whether that means on 7chem or starting him and transitioning through the dynamic tactics. And so because of that, even an engine would be great for him up front, because it boosts his pace and it boosts his dribbling. But popping that sniper on him, 99 finishing, 90 positioning, insane dribbling stats, great composure. This is just a good card, a good spot. It puts him up to an 87 striker. Can we get 88 striker with Deadeye? Look at that, 99 positioning, 99 finishing, 96 shot power, 93 long shots. Little, like, not the greatest in terms of dribbling then, you know, his agility and balance is a little low. I personally prefer to boost up the dribbling and balance, which is why I think the sniper would be good, because it boosts his finishing and it boosts his dribbling. And although with base pace, he's not rapid, but he's still fast, you know, he's fast with great agility, good balance, great ball control, great dribbling, 97 overall dribbling, good composure, very good for early game, good acceleration and sprint speed, 5-star, 4-star. Like, for me, Humanson is going to be an absolute daddy in this game, and I cannot wait to get him. He's going to be one of the first guys I hopefully manage to pick up and get a hold of to do some games with, maybe a squad builder or a player review, because he just looks magnificent. So well-rounded in his shooting, his dribbling, and his pace, with good stamina, perfect skill moves and weak foot. Phenomenal for me. And then I think last but not least, Gabriel Jesus, another one that's been downgraded via weak foot, so 4-star down to 3-star, and that will have an impact. But obviously we remember last year Gabriel Jesus was very expensive. Him and Mbappe were crazy expensive. Even his 81 rated card was super expensive early on, peaking at around 70 to 80,000 coins and taking a long time before it got cheap. It was December before he was even 15k. This year he's been upgraded minor slots from his A1 last year. But again, this is a really good card. The beautiful thing about Gabriel Jesus is he already has really good dribbling and good stamina. Those are just key stats. Now, you could give him a sniper, boost that composure up more, finishing and positioning perfect. You know, I think the sniper is going to be a really overused or overpowered chem style this year. But of course, you sacrifice some pace. If you want that pace, you can give him a hunter. It doesn't quite give you the perfect boost in attacking, but because he already has such high stats there, it might not even matter. You're going to be able to break through so many back lines with that blistering pace, good finishing and shot power, great positioning, and an incredibly well-rounded dribbling is going to make Gabriel Jesus a very sought-after player that I personally think will again go for around 80, maybe up towards 130, 140,000 coins very early days before scaling down. It's a great card, and it's a card that you could probably see in people's teams for a long, long time. And that, guys, concludes my top 10 overpowered EPL Premier League players. If you guys disagree with any of my selections or you think that somebody else was better suited, of course, I set my own rules here of making it 84 rated as the maximum rating, because once you get to 85 and 86 rated players, they're not overpowered. They're just very good because they're very good. But someone like Gabriel Jesus is only 83 rated. His stats are that of like an 88, 90 rated. He's overpowered. So that is my top 10, guys. Let me know who you think you would love to have in your team in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.